Hello. So I wanted to address the question about terracycling and what it is. I am quite passionate about terracycling actually. So let me explain what it is. It is a recycling company as such that basically recycles things that we think are non-recyclable. So what I mean is we have spent all our lives, or at least our adult lives, thinking that some things can and cannot be recycled. And actually, what we have to remember is it is what our council choose to recycle or not recycle is what we have learnt. Just because our council do not recycle crisp packets, biscuit wrappers, toothbrushes, cheese wrappers, whatever it is, that doesn't mean they're not recyclable. That just means our council do not recycle them, and that's the difference. So Terracycle basically recycle pretty much, well, I won't say anything, but a lot of your single-use plastic stuff that you wouldn't normally recycle. So how it works is let's say there are 100 schemes. There's probably more in that, but let's just take 100 of these free schemes across the global now. But so if you take the UK, so that means that I could set up a scheme to hold the base for recycling cheese packet wrappers. I may also decide to take things like crisp packets as well. Now, what that means is that anybody can drop off those to me, that drop-off point, and then I collect them, send them off in a big box when I've got loads, and I send them off to Terracycle, and they recycle them and make new upcycled products. I then earn points for how much I've sent off, and I can donate that to a school or a non-profit organisation of my choice. So what that means is basically scattered all over the UK are hundreds, if not thousands, of drop-off points. However, what it means is that you might not have all the drop-offs, well, you won't have all the drop-offs near you, because I am a volunteer, and if I decide to do crisp packets and cheese wrappers, I don't want to do all the other 100 because I don't have time or storage for that. So that might mean there is nowhere near me or nowhere in Essex that might do something else that you, the public, want to drop off. So really the best way to find out, there are two ways. If there is a particular thing you want to know if you can recycle, you can go on the Terracycle website and look up that free scheme. So for example, take bread bags. When I last looked at where can I recycle bread bags, there wasn't many places in Essex, and there wasn't one near me. So I specifically looked for bread bags. Now on Terracycle, you have to look up individual schemes to find out where your local drop-off is, and it's got a map and it tells you if there's a place near you for the drop-off of that particular scheme. You wouldn't want to do that for 100 things, you'll be there all day. So the easiest way to do it is to go on your local eco Facebook group and ask on there, and your local eco community between them will know what you can recycle in the area. It's also useful to join any of your local groups of places that you might go to occasionally. So I live in Rochford, and I'm actually a member of all of them, but that's just because of my role at Eco Essex. But what I would do is I would join Eco Southend and Eco Benfleet and Eco Basildon, because actually what I found, although there's not terracycling near me within a 5-mile radius, there is one about 10 miles away in Basildon, which although I don't go to Basildon, I have friends that go to Basildon and will happily do the Terracycle drop off. So it's a bit of we do a little bit of what do you call it, basically we just transfer it from one car to another. So I get drop off sent to me, and then I put it in my car, I take it to my friend, she puts it in her car, and she goes to Basildon. So it's useful to know about where to Terracycle in your area. And then what I do is I find out what that drop-off point recycles. So she does about 10 to 15 different schemes, and therefore I collect those 10 to 15 different items. There's no point in me collecting something that can't be recycled locally, because what am I going to do with it? Unless you really want to, go all out and pay for it to be posted off as such. So that's what I would recommend, finding out what can be TerraCycled near you. Now, I've talked about being if you're an official drop-off, that means you are responsible for collecting the items off the public, sorting it, and obviously packaging it and sending it off. Now, what I am, and what anyone can be, is an unofficial drop-off, which basically means you're just collecting people's stuff and taking it to an official drop-off. So that's what I do. I collect it from people in Rochford every, say, 2 months and say, this week I'm going to see my friend who's going to drop it off at the Terracycling, deliver it to me. And last time, obviously with COVID rules and stuff, I didn't want to touch anything, so I agreed a time and a day that people were coming, and they all came and just put it straight in my car boot, so I didn't have to touch it, and then I could leave it for a couple of days before then I took it to my friend and transferred it into her boot, so she didn't have to touch it, etc. So there's like the official drop-offs where you actually are responsible for it, and then you earn points which can be donated money to charity. Or you can just be an unofficial drop-off like me, which is just somebody that's being helpful to take it to the official drop-off. But there are loads of things. I mean, currently, I'm collecting for the Benfleet, the Basil scheme, the bread bags, crisp packets, biscuit wrappers, sweet and chocolate wrappers, toothbrushes, toothpastes, just say cheese, what else? I think they do food pouches, like cat food pouches, loads of stuff. So it is really useful, and what I actually like about the companies, I actually trust what they're doing with their recycling, whereas unfortunately a lot of council waste, the council, our government does send things abroad, and once it leaves our shores we are no longer responsible for it, as far as I'm aware, and you've probably seen the horror stories and the documentaries that basically see it being burnt or stuck in landfill over abroad, where we don't really know what's happening to it and if it is actually being properly recycled. So Terracycling can be a great thing to do, and I will send you the website for that